gentlemen, welcome to episode 180 of the It's Obvious podcast. My name's Garrett Drake. I'm joined across the table by one of the most beautiful men I've ever come to know in my life, Jacob Alka. How are you?
That's, I don't even know what to say.
Jacob, everyone knows you're beautiful. I know it. I just like to repeat it because I am thoroughly attracted to you. I truly can't get enough of you, and it's an honor to be in your presence, as always.
Yes. You continue to tell me that every week, and I never get tired of hearing it.
I'm glad to hear it, Jacob.
So thank you. You also look just phenomenal this week, I gotta say.
So glad to hear, Jacob. I've told you once, and I'll tell you again, it means the world to me to hear you compliment me like that.
I mean, with your hair and my body, we could destroy
You got some
the world.
great hair yourself, man. You got a great beard going right now.
Well, my hair is okay. I mean, it's kind of going out, you know,
covering it up with
as
the
age
old
does.
Braves hat there.
Yeah.
Any particular reason why? Just didn't feel like
I
preparing your
got
hair.
out of bed and put this hat on. That's
Okay,
why.
I feel you. Yeah, I woke up a little later than I'd planned myself. We're starting a little late on this beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's gorgeous. It's rather warm for it being December. In typical Georgia fashion, it just fluctuates the temperature all year long. But it's good to be here with you, Jacob. I'm excited to talk about some video games.
We have some great stuff to talk about.
We really do. We have a killer list of news to discuss and some awesome community questions as well, and some fun discussion leading up to that, Jacob. So let's start, as we always do in this podcast, in traditional fashion. How was your week?
It was an okay week. I remember earlier this week I had something fun to talk about, but since then I've forgotten it.
Here's something fun to talk about.
Yeah, please. Maybe I'll remember mine.
This band last night that I ran sound for were just the biggest group of characters I've ever seen. And to give you an example of characters, I mean literal characters you'd see in movies. For example, their drummer looked identical, even sounded like him, to the Turtle Man from Master of Disguise.
Yeah.
You seen that movie?
I have.
I think it's Dana Carvey. Am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club? I mean, that was him. He was the drummer.
Interesting.
And their guitar player was just out of his mind, too.
Was it actually him?
Yeah, they were called. It may have been him. Could have been him in disguise. He's a master of disguise after all. But their guitar player was pretty wild too. But funny band. They drew a big crowd. I wasn't really into the music, but they're called White Animals. A bunch of old dudes from Nashville just jamming and people losing their minds. Old people too, just losing their minds at the show as if they were at Woodstock or something.
Yeah.
So it was a funny evening.
It's pretty cool.
I got home very, very late. But this has rejuvenated me just being here with you. It was always a pleasure. So
was it at Smith's or was it at the Masquerade?
It was at Smith's.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
So we got a new candle. That's exciting.
We do, yeah.
It's leather and saffron. I don't know what saffron is, but it smells very
whatever it is.
musky in a good way and smoky a bit, like we're in a deep forest somewhere. And there's fog in the air and there's critters surrounding us.
Yeah,
us
exactly
being
what
the
I was
critters,
thinking,
of course.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll pitch a tent in the forest and we'll see where it goes next.
Yeah.
How's that sound?
So I remember what happened to me this week.
Okay.
My car broke down.
Did it?
Yeah.
I have a funny story about my car too. It's rather embarrassing. You go first.
So I was working Tuesday night. I was on my way home. I wanted to treat myself, Garrett. So I stopped at Chick-fil-A.
Good call.
And I was like, you know what? I'm going to get some food. I got some chicken.
You know what? I'm going to get some food.
I got some good old chicken from Chick-fil-A.
Got you get a sandwich or what'd you get?
I got 2 chicken sandwiches.
Oh, dude. That's exactly
one
what I do sometimes.
One for dinner, one for later.
Yep.
Then I got the fries with that. And I got a diet lemonade. You would think because it's diet, it doesn't taste that good, but it tastes
Why don't
just
you
like
just get the lemonade? If you're going all out with the sandwiches, just get the lemonade.
It's already got enough sugar.
Why don't you get a small lemonade?
You
don't have to finish it. Just take a few sips.
I don't need to explain myself to you. So
your body says everything.
I was on my way home from Chick-fil-A. I noticed that my radio turned off. I was like, oh, that's weird.
Okay.
But sometimes my radio is finicky, so I didn't think too much of it. Then I drive like a mile.
So you drove in silence?
Yeah.
No, just sit in silence.
Yeah, I was singing to myself, actually.
Did you sing that song?
Yeah.
That's what that song's about.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was driving in silence, like you said.
Yeah.
And I noticed my whole dash was dimming, like the lights were dimming. I was like, what's going on? Something's off. Then I noticed my battery comes on the dash. I'm like, oh no, this isn't good.
Yeah.
Maybe I can make it home. No, I didn't even get close to making it home. I drove like another mile. Then like my car, like the lights start, fluttering. Like my car turns off, on and off. I'm like, oh, what is going on? So I'm like stalling out in the middle of the road. Do you know where? I'm not going to say the name of the road, but it's where the fairgrounds are.
I do.
I stalled out on that road in the right lane at night.
At night.
My hazards didn't work. My car was dead.
Just completely gone.
So I was in the right lane, just sitting there. People were getting very close to hitting me at night. I had to call the police. I helped them push my car. You know where that Chevron gas station is?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So we pushed my car into that with the help of the police.
Okay.
And I had to call a tow company, and they towed it to the repair shop that I like to take my car to. And turned out I had a bad battery.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Usually when that happens, though, it's the alternator when your car just shuts off while you're driving it.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, it was just my battery.
Hey, at least you had Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was cold by the time my dad came and picked me up, but
bummer.
Yeah, it was a wild day.
Hey, Dad. My car
Luckily,
died.
he was on his way home, so it wasn't really that much of an inconvenience.
That's good.
But if it would have been the alternator, I probably wouldn't have bought a new one. I probably would have just got a new car. Like it was, because it wouldn't have been worth it at that point, because I'm going to be selling, or I don't know if I'm going to sell my car. I'm not going to get very much for it, but I would have gotten.
You've had that car a long time.
I have. It's been
a great sad car to see it go.
Yeah.
Speaking of things of letting go, I had a rather heartbreaking moment earlier this week. I was cleaning out this room and reorganizing this room and the room across the hall. Okay. Just getting rid of stuff I don't need anymore, and I finally disposed of our old lamp that we used to use in all of our videos.
Oh, no.
The one, it was a broken lamp attached to a drum pad, duct taped to a drum pad. It was our source of light for many years, and I was sad to see it go because it was just all we had. It's all we used for close to 3.5 years.
These guys.
Yeah, these guys are much brighter, and the color temperature is a little more, it's not as warm, but it looks a bit more professional, I'd say. But I was sad to see it go. Yeah. Because it never failed us in all that time.
It fell over a couple times.
It was ever faithful. Yeah, it did fall over.
Did it fall over in a video?
Yeah, in one of our Just Cause 3 Let's Plays. I think it was the only Just Cause 3. Yeah, it was just the one video we did. And
we used to make videos for every game.
We did, yeah. We were very consistent about it, too. What's funny is that we saw a lot of growth from all that. But
did we?
We did. I mean, we were consistently growing for a while, and we just hit a wall. Because all we do is the podcast now, but can't help that. So, oh well. But grateful to have you all tuning in nonetheless.
Yep.
But it was sad to see the lamp go, but I can relate. But my car story is a tad more humiliating than yours, Jacob.
Oh, is it?
My gas light,
sure?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, trust me. My gas light came on. This was Friday morning.
Don't tell me you ran out of gas.
Oh yeah, Thursday or Friday morning. So usually I can drive a good 20 miles before my car actually died, and it's never died before. So I've typically known how far I can drive without it failing on me. My gas light
was this last week.
Yeah, so I was leaving. I can't remember what day of the week it was, but I was leaving Casey's apartment to meet my dad for lunch, and in the city. So on the way to meet my dad for lunch, which was less than 10 miles away, my gas light comes on. I'm like, okay, I'll need to get gas when I leave here. So I meet my dad in Buckhead, we eat, and then I realize that there isn't really a gas station that's conveniently located on the way to the highway, and I don't feel like backtracking. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get on the highway, I'm going to go one exit up and get gas at the next exit, which really isn't that far, all things considered. So I get on the highway and I'm driving, and all of a sudden my car the wheel starts locking up. And I was like, oh no. And I knew it was coming. Just like your car, everything started fading. Everything slowly dying. So miraculously, it wasn't, the traffic wasn't too brutal. So I veer over to the side of the road. And thankfully, by some miracle, it was this construction zone where they weren't working for the day. So there's this giant gap for me to slip in and go deep into this area where I was way off the road. Yeah. So it would suck to, run out of gas on the side of the road and you're just bunched up against that wall and there's like cars flying past you the whole time. So thankfully, by God's grace, there's this giant construction zone I was able to pull into. So I pull into there. My car completely dies and won't turn back on. And I realized I'd run out of gas, Jacob. But thankfully, I have AAA. And they were a huge help. And for your situation, had my battery died, I could have just called AAA. They could have come and given me a new battery. Yeah. But so I called them, and they came out, and 10 minutes later, they were there, and they filled up my gas tank with I think it was 2 gallons. And they just sent me on my way and went up to the nearest gas station and filled it up. But
gotcha.
It was humiliating to have to call them. And they're like, so what happened, sir? I'm like, I ran out of gas. And I was on the side of the road.
But why'd you do that, idiot?
Yeah, it died way faster than it typically does. So it was quite heartbreaking.
Gotta be careful.
I survived the day, thankfully. It wasn't all that bad, and it was a quick process getting everything solved. But yeah, it's humiliating to have to admit that I ran out of gas on the side of the road.
Yeah. Were you by yourself?
Because I neglected my empty tank for too long. Yeah, I was by myself. Yeah. I haven't told anyone till now. And now,
nice. No, a lot of people.
About 1,500 people know it at the very least. So don't tell anyone else. It's a secret. But
gotcha,
that was probably the highlight of my week as far as just life in general. That and the Turtle Man.
Your secret is safe with all of us.
Yeah, I appreciate that, guys. Keep it on the down low.
Definitely don't talk to him about it on Twitter.
Yeah,
don't tweet at Garrett about his embarrassing story.
Yeah, that'd be great. So, any games you played this week?
Yeah. Admittedly, I did not play a lot of Red Dead this week. I just really wasn't in the mood. I played a little bit of the epilogue. I can't really say anything about it, I guess. I've been playing a little bit of Red Dead though. I need to pick it back up and finish it before I get too far off. Getting focused on other things like Smash coming out this Friday, which will
that is so exciting.
Been playing more Pokemon. I have beaten 5 gym leaders. I cleared out Team Rocket in Saffron City.
Nice.
Which is, I think it's the last time you deal with them. Leave a comment in the comments below if I'm wrong. But I need to. The next thing I'm doing is facing Sabrina, which is the 6th gym leader. She's a psychic type gym leader.
Psychic?
Oh yeah.
Like a literal psychic?
She is a literal psychic, yeah.
So she knows whether she's going to win or lose then?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like even in the anime.
Then why
like,
face you at all? Because you're clearly going to beat her.
I mean, in the anime, she's like really good. Like she beats everyone except Ash.
Of course.
Well, she beats him once actually, and then he comes back and he beats her.
Okay, does he defy her prediction?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so she can be wrong.
So maybe she isn't a psychic. Maybe it was just, what's that word I'm looking for? My brain doesn't function when we're on the podcast. I can't think of it. What's the word? It's so simple.
I don't know.
Coincidence. That's what I was looking for.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I can only speak to what I know about Sabrina.
Okay.
But yeah, the game is really fun. I have a overpowered party. It's kind of fun just going through the game and just destroying everything.
I bet.
But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing that on the Switch even after Friday when Smash comes out. And I'm still playing Blackout.
You enjoying it?
Oh yeah. Last night actually was able to squad up with a bunch of guys. It was a good time.
Did you guys win?
We won a couple games.
Nice, a couple.
Yeah.
Wow.
Admittedly, I was dead for one of those, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I didn't really.
I imagine it helps to have a squad that's communicating from start to finish.
Yeah, especially if you fuck up, then you still have other people that can
For sure.
carry you to a win.
Definitely.
But yeah, starting to rack up some wins now, which is nice. I know we're going to talk about Blackout here in a little bit, but I continue to just stress how much I hate the cosmetics in the game.
How so? Like the
They're
skins?
just so mediocre. Yeah,
Okay.
all of them. Like they're just like spray-ons to models of the characters already.
Yeah.
Like I want
Like tribal sprays and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like I want something that changes the character.
Yeah, like different outfits
Yeah,
and
like
stuff.
dress them up as like a clown or something.
I think
don't care.
I think Fortnite's a prime example
Yeah.
of that. Like their skins, say what you will about all their microtransactions and stuff, but their skins are awesome.
Yeah, they like this last week. They literally released a skin that was a moth, like, and their pickaxe is a lamp. Like, how great is that?
That's amazing. Do you actually fly around?
No, I mean you have wings as a backpack.
Okay,
Yeah. So it looks awesome, but
Wow.
nothing like that in Blackout. I want something, like they're putting all this stuff in for real money. I want to actually be compelled to buy something
Definitely.
because I'm putting a lot of time into the game and I'm enjoying it.
I get that.
So. And I have been kind of tempted to maybe get back into Fortnite this week. I haven't done it yet, but we'll see if that happens.
Fortnite, huh? Yeah.
I think I might give it another go. We'll see. But that's all I played this week.
Have a good time. Yeah.
What about you, my friend?
I played a decent amount of stuff. I actually had a very productive week of gaming. So I platinumed Spyro the Dragon. Loved it so much. I guess I didn't beat it as a kid, but I did play it, obviously.
So
but
you platinumed it.
I did platinum
The first one.
Very easy platinum, too. Is about as easy as I expected it to be. But I'm on to Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. And it's already much better than the first one.
Yeah.
Now, the first one's great. I mean, it's just a very simple platforming collectathon. You're just collecting gems, killing enemies. That's pretty much it. But the second one just mixes things up, and it goes into the third one, Year of the Dragon, as well. How there's like the flying boost arcs you can fly through. There's a climbing mechanic. There's cool little mini games where you, for example, the very first level, you shoot rocks at lizards, and you have to aim at them and fire rocks. My nose is destroyed, man.
I'm sorry.
Coming down with the sickness. But yeah, just a bunch of additional mechanics and mini games in the second one that just spice things up, and it's pretty much the same thing, just killing enemies, collecting gems, moving on to the next world. But it's just a combination of the gorgeous visuals, the
audio,
the audio, the music, and the characters, and
that's the one thing I remember about Spyro is just the music being so great.
Yeah, it's just joyful, wholesome fun, and it's very peaceful, and I feel very relaxed when I play it. And I typically, when I'm kind of sick of like Hunt Showdown or Call of Duty or intense stuff like that, I'll just hang back and relax and play some Spyro. So I'll nick away at Ripto's Rage and probably platinum that eventually too.
Gotcha.
But we have a fairly decent December coming up with games as far as at least Smash Bros. At least I'm pretty excited about that myself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to pick it up on day one. I'll probably pick it up this weekend. I don't know if I'll have it on Friday, but
Okay.
yeah. But Platinum Spyro, I finished Turf Wars, which is part 2 of Spider-Man's DLC with Hammerhead.
Okay.
And it was rad. Really enjoyed it. It was very short. The missions were all just combat focused, just fighting guys the entire time. A couple stealth sections that were pretty cool, but Hammerhead himself had a great performance, cool villain, pretty, I wouldn't say tough boss fight, but pretty cool boss fight. It was fun to, you primarily just dodge his attacks and then fight him, surrounded by goons as well.
Yeah.
But I think the coolest part was the opening mission of the game, just the dialogue and the character arc for this one certain guy. I won't spoil it, was just emotional, I would say, and it was just very well done, I thought. Just it felt like a classic opening to like an episode of the animated series or a comic book or something.
Okay.
So really strong opening, really cool boss fight. All the stuff in between was okay, but overall I was pretty happy with it, so I look forward to part 3.
So which one's better so far, do you think?
I think I enjoyed the Black Cat stuff more as far from a story perspective in the first one, but obviously that leads into part 2. And Hammerhead's cool, but I think Black Cat's just on screen is more fun to see her and Spider-Man interact versus Spider-Man just toying with Hammerhead the entire time. But
Sure.
Yuri, the police captain, had a lot of cool moments as well.
I heard that, yeah.
So
I think Preston actually said that.
yeah, but pretty solid DLC. I mean, it could be way worse than it is, and it isn't anything groundbreaking. It doesn't change much of anything. You know, there's a couple new enemies between part 1 and 2, but going into the third one, I'm excited to see where it leads. It's been a fun little story, and I think all things considered, if you played them all back to back to back, all in one go instead of having them spread out like they've been, for players that are waiting to do that, I think it'll be overall a really solid
That's what
package.
I'm going to do.
So. Yeah, a lot of fun. I still just adore the web swinging. Yeah. And I
I
also
know
love
you
the rain because the majority of the DLC, I think Preston mentioned too, just takes place on a rainy day. And I think that weather and and just graphically, the game looks so cool while it's raining, especially with Spider-Man's wet suits and everything, the wet buildings and streets.
Yeah.
I wish they'd make that an option in all of Harry's research stations. We can change the time of day once you beat the game. Yeah. I think it'd be cool to have rain as an option as well.
So that's not an option in the game?
It's not. It's just day, sunset, and night currently. But it'd be cool if we had some rain.
Yeah.
But yeah, Turf Wars is cool. I recommend it. I also played Hunt. That's nothing new. I have nothing much to say about that, but I did play it.
Any new changes since you've last played?
Not changes. They're still working on Lost in Delta, the new map. It's still in beta. It's definitely more stable than it was when it first started, but it's getting there. It's cool. I'm just waiting on the new boss at this point. I have another community question about that.
Gotcha.
As far as speculating on the new boss in the game, which I imagine it's going to hit any day now.
Yeah. Did you get any wins?
I did not, no. No, wait. Wins, yeah, plenty of wins. I was thinking Call of Duty for a second.
Oh.
Wins in Hunt Showdown are far more frequent than like typical battle royales. But yeah, a few wins, not many, but a few. And it was fun.
Gotcha.
I've been playing Gris for COG. I'm not reviewing the game. I'm just producing the video version of the written review. And it is by far one of the prettiest games I think I've ever played.
What's it called?
Gris.
Okay.
It's an indie game from Nomada Studio and Devolver Digital. It was a hot topic at PAX PAX West this past year. I guess we're not in 2019 yet, but earlier this year at PAX West, Gris was talked about a lot. But a really strong indie title, just easily, like I said, one of the prettiest games I've played all year. It reminds me a lot of, at least the feeling it gives me. It reminds me of Journey, where it's very lonesome, but there's moments that feel like they're joyful moments, but there are also a lot of moments that just feel like crying for some reason. Mm-hmm. I think it's a combination of the visuals and the music, and those two things working in unison are just breathtaking to behold. And it's gameplay-wise, it's just a puzzle platformer. It's not totally unique, but what's interesting about it is that as you progress forward, you're unlocking new abilities for the character.
Sure.
One of them's like a slam ability, another one's like a glide ability. And she can also sing that kind of sprouts new areas and brings them to life for you to platform to different places. Yeah. But you're just collecting these orbs to connect these constellations to continue to new areas. But it's just so beautiful, dude. Just the colors and the animation, and especially running on PC at a super high frame rate and 1440 just looks really pretty.
Yeah.
So... but yeah, I've been capturing a ton of gameplay for that. I don't know if I'd describe it as just a very fun game. I mean, it's fun, but I can only play it in short bursts before I need a break of it. But it's just a very beautiful game, and it makes you feel a particular way. If you like the way Journey made you feel, I think you'd really enjoy Gris. So,
yeah, is it out yet?
It's not. I think it's out the 13th, maybe.
Okay.
I know the reviews come out on the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
But
you've piqued my interest. I might.
Yeah, I'd say it's worth looking into and definitely playing if that sounds intriguing to you.
Yeah,
I might have to go to the bathroom. My nose is so stuffed up. My throat's just inflamed right now.
I understand.
It's awful. Forgive me. But very cool game. I recommend it. That's all I played this week.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Anything else going on with you?
Not too important. No. You gonna be okay?
I think so.
But I'm ready to jump right into the
news. Let's do it, man. This is the It's Obvious podcast where my best friends gather every single week to discuss video games, movies, TV shows, all sorts of cool things. If you enjoy what you're hearing, you can listen to it on a multitude of platforms. You can listen to it at youtube.com/itsobviousgaming, where the video version exists. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, and Audio Boom. Many other services that I fail to list every week, but we're out there if you're interested. I encourage you to tune in and comment down below on youtube.com/itsobviousgaming if you're willing, as we'd love to hear your thoughts on any of the topics we discuss, or especially in the community questions. We'd love to hear from you guys. And we'll always continue the discussion on Discord. But all that out of the way, Jacob, I think we are ready to move into the smorgasbord of news we have this week. It's pretty exciting.
Before we begin the first story, did you play Red Dead Online?
Oh, yeah, I did. I totally forgot.
Should we talk
That's
about
a bad sign, dude. Just like with Fallout 76, if I forgot I played it, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched some people play it. I've seen stuff from it. I'm not really interested right now.
I'm not either.
I know it's a beta.
Yeah, I played it, dude. I played it for like 8 hours and I forgot. Yeah. Totally forgot I played it.
Anything?
I did a bunch of videos for COG too and I forgot.
Anything worth mentioning?
Not really.
Yeah.
No, it's just Red Dead Online. It feels just like the
character
older
models
game.
look awful.
Oh yeah, they look terrible. I mean, mine look half decent. But,
I was over at Evan's house on Friday night, like I told you, and I was watching some interactions between NPCs and your character, and it's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It is so awkward, like just seeing the characters conversing together. Yeah,
they you can't greet them like you can in the main story.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I mean, there are
masterpiece, like where the characters are, like even. Like all the conversing that happens in the story, and then it's how good everything looks. Then you go to online, and it's this.
The interactions are definitely dialed back. But
yeah.
I mean, that's obviously not necessarily the focus of Red Dead Online. It's more of an interaction among players. But I mean, it runs fine. I haven't encountered too many glitches. At least on PS4 Pro, it's pretty smooth. I mean, the multiplayer matches have been fine.
I guess I was just expecting a lot since GTA Online was such a success. I was expecting this to be like a huge.
I mean, then again, it is a beta. I'm sure it's going to evolve.
Yeah.
I mean, GTA Online is nothing like it was when it first launched. I mean, it's grown significantly as far as modes and new tracks and events and everything you can do in the game. So this will grow, but I imagine it's far more challenging to expand Red Dead Online versus GTA Online, because in a modern setting, there's so much you can do, whereas you're confined to a Western period piece. It's hard to put, like a crazy Hot Wheels racetrack in the game with your horse.
I've heard the economy is a mess too.
Oh, it is bad. Yeah. Everyone who's been talking about that is not off base at all. I noticed that myself when I was playing. You make maybe a couple bucks for doing a story mission, which is nothing. And to afford like a new jacket or a new weapon is like hundreds of dollars. So it is a little absurd at the moment. I mean, obviously they want to encourage people to invest in microtransactions, which come in the form of gold bars in the game. But hopefully they tweak it to a point where, of course, I'm fine with a grind, but dial back that grind a bit, because right now it would just take hundreds of hours to do anything significant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it seems cool. I mean, if I save up enough money by some point, maybe I'll start a posse for IOG, and if people want to join it, we can team up and mess around in Red Dead Online. I'm not compelled to go back and play it right now. I think I'm just not really in the mood to play Red Dead in general. Like I said, I've just been hooked on Spyro for some reason.
Yeah.
But between Spider-Man and Spyro, I was just having far more fun with those two versus Red Dead Online.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't even say anything's bad other than the economy with Red Dead Online, but in its current state, I'm not totally interested in continuing. But perhaps after a few updates and when it leaves its beta phase, maybe I'll jump back in and see how it's going. But yeah, dude.
Yeah. Just thought we should mention that.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me. It would have slipped my mind completely.
Yeah.
So, good call. Jacob, the Game Awards are nearing us very soon.
This week?
It's the 8th, right?
Is
the Game Awards?
That's this week.
Is that this week?
Is that Thursday?
I think it's Thursday. Yeah, it is Thursday. Yes.
Wait. No, that's the 8th is Saturday. Are you sure it's the 8th?
Let's look it up.
Is
I
it
can't
the
remember.
6th?
Game Awards.
It's got to be the 6th.
2018 date. Maybe it is the 6th. Yep. So that's Thursday.
The 6th.
Yeah. 8:30 p.m. You want to live stream it?
I
wonder if I'm working. I'm not sure if I'm working. I'll have to check, but if I'm not, we can stream it.
Okay.
I think it'd be fun because we got to compare our answers, man. We predicted them a couple weeks ago now.
Indeed.
So pretty exciting. The awards are cool and all, but I'm more excited about the potential announcements we'll get.
Sure.
And I was going to ask if you'd like to predict what announcements you think we might see.
Oh, gosh, I have no idea. Well, what's our story? That's okay.
We have a couple stories.
Yeah, I see the story.
So let me read these stories and then we'll go into predictions of what we might see.
Okay.
So the first story is all about Rocksteady officially announcing they are indeed not working on a Superman title, which admittedly, Jacob, that's kind of relieving for me because I just was not that interested in any Superman title from anyone.
Superman.
Now, I'd like to see someone try it and succeed, but I mean, at the end of the day, I don't need it. So, and I'm kind of glad it's not Rocksteady. Anyway, it comes from Colin Stevens of IGN. Quote, Rocksteady Studios, makers of the Batman Arkham trilogy, has confirmed it isn't making a Superman game, and the studio won't be making an announcement about its upcoming project at the Game Awards next week. Revealed on Twitter, Rockstar co-founder and game director Sefton Hill decided to let fans know ahead of time that the much-rumored Superman game isn't what the studio has in production. His tweet reads as follows. It says, looking forward to the hashtag Game Awards this year. We're still hard at work on our development at our development bunker, so don't expect an announcement from Rocksteady Games. When it's ready to show, you'll be the first to know. Spoiler, it's not Superman. That was my first question, Jacob. What do you think it is? It's not Superman.
Their game?
I have two predictions.
What I hope it is that it's not a superhero game. I don't want a superhero game from them. I want to see something brand new.
Yeah?
That's what I want out of them.
Something original for WB?
Yeah, I don't even care what it is. Just maybe a new adventure game, a new open world, or even the multiplayer game. I don't care.
Okay.
I want to see what they can do.
I'm very selfish, Jacob, so I'm hoping it's still Batman.
I know you can.
Because I adore
think that's
Batman.
Likely. I think it's likely, honestly. I think
something
it might
in
be
the Batman Arkham universe or just the Batman universe at this point and not necessarily Arkham related.
Part of me thinks it's going to be like Batman Beyond. Like, I don't think that's crazy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that's crazy. I'm hoping it's Batman. Obviously, I can neither confirm nor deny that. Jason Schreier says in a follow-up article to this that he is 90% sure he knows what it is and he's not going to announce it for multiple reasons. He posted a big Reddit post in response to someone asking, like, why don't you just tell the world what you think it is or mostly know what it is? He had a really good response that I think I agree with, but apparently he knows he's not going to spill the beans anytime soon unless he has a reason to.
Yeah.
Which I respect a lot. But I don't think it's Harry Potter either because I think the rumors people have been saying, I can imagine Rocksteady jumping from a successful franchise like Batman to something like Harry Potter. I think they could do it well, but perhaps it's not Harry Potter after all.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not really sure, man.
But I will say ultimately that announcement is just relieving for me because I was not really interested in Superman at the end of the day. So, but that being said, Jacob, speaking of superheroes, the Russo brothers, directors of Captain America, Winter Soldier, Civil War, and Avengers 3 and 4, will be presenting an award, or at least attending the Game Awards. I think they're presenting an award.
They're presenting an award.
So
it's really cool.
Yeah, my question, I mean, it's cool, like whatever, like celebrities presenting awards is fine, I guess, but I'm more interested in what they could bring to the show themselves. Yeah. I don't think it'll be the Avengers trailer. I think we'll get that prior to the Game Awards. My prediction is we'll get that trailer on either Monday or Tuesday of this week.
Really?
That's my prediction.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the game.
No, not the game.
Avengers
I have something to
project.
say about the game. I'm talking about the movie trailer everyone's been waiting for. But
why do you think it'll release Monday or Tuesday?
I just have that feeling in my gut.
Okay.
So one of those days.
It's about time we see it.
It is. It's high time. It'll be any day now. I can't imagine they'd reserve that for the Game Awards of all things. No. That'd be kind of weird. No. But that being said, I imagine the Russo brothers, it'd be perfect timing for them to announce a new trailer or present a new trailer for Square Enix's Avengers project.
Yeah.
Now, they have nothing to do with that game, but I think it'd be cool them being the directors of Avengers 3 and 4 to present the next trailer or news concerning the Avengers title.
I still don't know what I want that game to be, though.
I mean, the Game Awards have yet to blow my mind in terms of announcements. I feel like the industry quite hasn't reached a point where they're ready to show stuff off at the Game Awards. It seems like each year they progress even more, and I'm hoping this is the first year where we see something substantial. Yeah. And all it takes is one publisher to be bold enough to be like, okay, we're going to announce a huge title at the Game Awards.
We saw The Last of Us announced there, right?
The Game Awards?
Yeah, wasn't it announced there?
I don't think so. Was it?
I think it was.
I have no idea.
I thought that's what Preston always says.
Maybe.
Preston, let us know if we're right.
You can look it up if you want. But all it's going to take is one publisher being willing to show off one giant title or one giant announcement, and then others will follow, I think, in subsequent years. Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping someone's bold enough, perhaps Nintendo, to show off something pretty significant at this year's awards. But I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a potential announcement. Not really announcement at this point, but more news regarding that Avengers project.
Do you know what you want to see? Like, what would excite you?
As far as announcements are concerned? I don't. Maybe I'm not that interested in Death Stranding at all because, like I said, I think Hideo Kojima, crucify me if you must, but I think he's insanely overhyped. Like people treat him like he's the Jesus of the industry, and I don't get why people act that way. He's cool, makes awesome games. He's an incredible legacy, and I respect that, of course. But I never feel like he's never made anything that's been that amazing.
Okay,
but and we still don't know what Death Stranding even is. It looks like a pack mule simulator, essentially.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like his legacy, people might disagree with you, but
yeah. Well, again, I've only played one of his games.
Yeah,
Still, you go, yeah. I've seen a lot of his games. I've only played one from start to finish. Mm-hmm. But maybe we'll see a release window finally announced for Death Stranding.
I want to. So we know we're gonna get Anthem. I want to see some substantial gameplay. Or I want to see something that gets me more excited for the game.
I have a bad feeling about that game.
I do too.
I don't think it's going to do very well.
I
think BioWare might go under for it, I hate to say. Granted, they are supposedly in the midst of pre-production or maybe even production at this point for the next Dragon Age.
Yeah.
So maybe EA will hang on to it.
There were rumors that we're going to get something from that too at the Game Awards.
But man, I don't know about Anthem. I'd like to see more. Again, I want it to grab me, of course, but it just, everything we've seen from it just screams Destiny.
Kind of speaking on the same subject, maybe Ubisoft comes with something for the Division 2.
That'd be cool. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see more Division 2. I think I will definitely be playing Division 2. I never really got into the first one aside from the beta.
Division, but we're going to actually be playing Division on the PC.
I know, that's what's exciting. Awesome. I think that's why I'm more excited this time. Mm-hmm. So, and I've just heard great things about it since E3. So I think it's in good shape.
Did you get to play it at E3 or no?
I had multiple opportunities, but I never felt compelled to actually play it. Okay. But I watched a lot of people play it. Mm-hmm. So.
I'm not going to get any more Kingdom Hearts.
Forgive me for my incessant nose problems. Can't breathe.
Yeah, I don't think we need to sit here and dwell too long, but...
No, yeah, we've seen plenty of Kingdom Hearts. I'm just ready for that to come out.
Right.
We're very close, Jacob. We're roughly 2 months away.
Less than 2 months.
Is it 29th it comes out? Or am I thinking Resident Evil?
I should have it in my phone.
There are so many dates for so many games, I get them all mixed up.
Let me see if I have it in my phone.
I can't think of any more potential announcements, but...
I have no idea.
Yeah, what I'm hoping for is maybe some release dates or release windows for games like Death Stranding, and maybe Dreams. I don't think Dreams has a release date yet.
I don't care.
Maybe
we'll get.
Dreams. Yeah, I don't care about it either. But I'm just saying for the sake of Sony, since they're not having PSX and they won't be at E3 next year, maybe they'll be like, oh, let's throw it at the Game Awards, let them know when it's coming.
Yeah, I could see that.
Not that it matters because they can announce it on Twitter and have potentially the exact same effect. Yeah. So the Game Awards just makes it seem more exciting than it is.
Sure.
But maybe that. And my biggest hope is that the Russo brothers present the next trailer for the Avengers project. And maybe we get an idea of what it actually is.
Or what if they present the next release date for the next Spider-Man DLC? Something like that.
I know we don't. It's coming. It's coming this month.
Oh, do we know already?
It's coming this month sometime. Well, let's look it up.
Yeah, you don't
all these damn release dates, dude. Actually, it doesn't even matter. We just know it's coming this month. So it's
whatever. Do we know who's going to be in it yet?
I don't know. I mean, obviously it'll continue with.
Yeah.
I assume Black Cat and Hammerhead. I don't know who the main.
I feel like there should
antagonist
be another
is.
Person. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be cool. Probably won't be anyone huge, but maybe Mysterio would be kind of cool. Mm-hmm. But I imagine they'll reserve the big guns for the follow up to the game, which I just can't wait for. Mm-hmm. So excited for that. Hopefully 3 years from now. Hopefully, that's probably best case scenario.
Yeah.
We'll see. have a very strong base of which to jump off of going forward.
Or they can make a new Ratchet and Clank game.
Yeah. I realized, dude, playing Spyro, and then, you know, obviously we adore Ratchet and Clank, and then playing Spider-Man DLC. I just love Insomniac games, dude.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like the studio, but I mean, literally, you know, Insomniac's games. Like, they're just so much fun.
They have a certain charm to them.
Yeah, they have that charm, and they're just so much fun. Mm-hmm. Even their games that are ancient, like Spyro,
they're really good at making fun games.
Yeah, and I realized I would probably really enjoy at least portions of Sunset Overdrive.
Did you ever play Ratchet & Clank Going Commando? That was the second game.
No, I've only played the first one.
That is my favorite Ratchet & Clank game. It was so good.
Yeah, I've told you, man. It
was so much more open. Like there was more worlds, and like there was a better, like you could upgrade your weapons. Like, you know, you can do that in the original game, but I think they had like multiple steps.
Yeah.
So it was like really exciting when you like upgraded your weapon. It like visually changed too. It did a lot more damage.
I know
I just have good memories of that.
We've praised Ratchet and Clank on PS4 relentlessly, but if you've yet to play it, we cannot recommend it enough. Good. It is so good.
Yeah.
And that's why I hope for a new Ratchet and Clank from someone. I hope for a new Spyro. I hope for a new Sly Cooper. I just love platforming action games like that. So it's so much fun. But I don't know if you can call Spyro an action game. It's just an adorable, wholesome, fun
platformer.
Yeah, a little collectathon. But I love that dragon, man. He's adorable. Great dialogue too. I love his attitude.
You think you're gonna see it through all 3 games?
Oh yeah, definitely. Over time. I mean, I love Year of the Dragon. That's the one I played most as a kid. I played it over and over and over again. So yeah, I got to get through Ripto's Rage, which I hear is arguably the best among people that have played all 3 games. So I'm excited to continue.
Cool.
It'll be good, dude. What's next? Fallout 76 had another situation this week.
I heard about this.
So obviously it's been critically panned. It is just a disaster critically. Even the user score on Metacritic has been just reviewed to hell.
Metacritic destroys
I think it's like anything. 2% or something ridiculous like that. But no, I know there are people who enjoy the game for what it is. And like I said, I had fun messing around with Preston. I have no desire to go back to it at all, I don't think.
I feel like every year there's a game that people just shit on.
Yeah.
It's like it was
it's easy to shit on this one because of all of its issues and its price point and its other stuff people are complaining about. But again, I don't hate the game, but as far as negativity towards the game, another situation has arisen. I just wanted to get your thoughts on it because I thought it was ultimate. It's a sucky situation for fans, but it's also hilarious to me how the collector's edition that Preston has was advertised with, you know, like the helmet and other little trinkets, a map and stuff, but also a canvas bag that looked quite nice. Now, I would never be one to carry around a Fallout 76 canvas bag anywhere, but I think it's the principle of the situation that people were advertised one thing that received something else.
They said you were going to get it and you didn't.
Yeah, they received a dinky little nylon bag that's very wrinkly and plasticky and just a piece of crap compared to the nice canvas bag.
Yeah.
So whether you were going to carry this bag around or not, the principle is that they were one thing was advertised and they received something else. So people have been in an uproar about this, that they were falsely advertised to, and Bethesda's having to deal with it, and these ridiculous customer service responses that are so funny. I don't really have a huge opinion on the matter because I know at the end of the day it's just a very ridiculous, sucky, complicated situation that they have to deal with. But it's so sad to me to see how they could go from the praise of Fallout 4 just immediately nosedive toward the ground with 76. Just critically, fans are upset. The company itself just looks bad because of that, or at least the studio itself looks bad because of this. It makes Todd Howard seem like an idiot. Where part of me feels like he legitimately is passionate about having an online world in Fallout, but I also feel like it may have been maybe a ZeniMax thing where the parent company was like, we need to have the success of like a Fortnite or a Destiny for Bethesda because all of our games are kick-ass single-player, either RPG or action games that are adored by everyone, but we need something that can be monetized a bit more.
Make a new IP.
So maybe that was their idea with Fallout. They're like, look, you guys can do it. You have the starting point with Fallout 4. Just create something real quick and get it out there and see how it goes.
They should just turn Rage.
So I don't throw all the blame on Todd Howard or Bethesda Game Studios. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of factors at bay that I don't fully understand. But it really is just a disaster from the launch. Though I do think it has legitimate potential to improve. Now, it's going to take a lot of work because the game in and of itself is just... it's boring in so many ways. It's just boring.
They just need to make the game work.
Yeah, I mean, again, I told you I played it on PC. I didn't encounter a single bug when I played. So I think the majority of the bugs seem to be on console. Now PC has had its issues, I think, but since I've played for the 3 or 4 hours I played, no bugs whatsoever. So I think bug-wise, it will be more stable going forward. Now, gameplay-wise, I'd like to see how people make it more interesting, because I'm one of those people that just, again, in Fallout 4, Fallout 3, I love the terminal stuff. I like listening to audio logs, but I think it was actually Cogs where you made a good point how those audio logs mean more and they feel more substantial when you have real NPCs to interact with, and they're just kind of like the icing on the cake of all the lore in the game. Yeah. So having those exclusively just really bores me to death. Now, I like shooting stuff. I love building stuff. I like exploring and collecting things, but that only goes so far when there's not a real engaging story for me there, and that's always kind of what's propelled me through the Fallout games, in addition to all that fun stuff that I love. Like I said, the building and exploration is all the characters and their stories and intertwining paths that kind of determine where you're going and the side missions and everything.
It's like Skyrim, yeah.
Exactly. So that's what's strong for me about the Fallout games, and that's what's lacking for me personally. So in that sense, they have a lot of work to do for me as a fan. But we'll see how it goes as they move forward. But that whole bag situation was just, it's horrible, but so funny. Just seeing how they're having to deal with that, and just the upset fans, I feel bad for them. But
yeah, if anyone in our community got the collector's edition and got that bag, let us know like how you feel about it.
I wanted to hear Preston's thoughts in this, because I don't know if he even noticed. Maybe he didn't realize that they swapped the bag. Yeah. Because they claim, it was expensive materials we couldn't afford it, so we had to give you the nylon bag. And then they offered 500 vault points, whatever they're called, the microtransactions in the game, and apparently that can't even buy you the virtual version of the canvas bag in the game.
Oh no!
People were saying that's equivalent to like a few bucks or something like that. I think you can afford like a mailman outfit or something for that price. So you'd think they'd drop everyone at least 1,000 or something, that like you can't get the real bag, but at least get the virtual one in the game. I don't know. It's awful. But and on top of all that, it was funny how in addition to that, a couple days later, a news story came out claiming that certain influencers had received not the canvas bag, but a version of a canvas bag at preview events they attended. Okay. I don't know if it's the same preview event that I almost went to myself, but I thought that was just even worse. They're like, oh, so the influencers get a canvas bag, but not the fans. Yeah. So
that's funny.
As heartbreaking as it is to see the state that Bethesda Game Studios in, just critically right now, it sucks. But I have no doubt in my mind that they will bounce back, even if they do, God forbid, continue using their same engine for Elder Scrolls 6 and Starfield. I hope they don't.
I think it's time
to move on.
Yeah.
I would hope so, but I totally get their sentiment when they say that learning a new engine takes a lot of time to do something proper. Sure. That's why a lot of studios like Naughty Dog, for example, remastered The Last of Us going into PS4 to get a taste of that hardware. And that's how they kind of progressed into developing Uncharted 4, was their experience with remastering The Last of Us. So I can see why they'd want to test run with something. You know what would have been the perfect opportunity? Test run 76. If it's already a disaster, they should have just tried a new engine with 76 and just see how it goes from there. Maybe that could be their taste and then move on. I mean, again, they have a ton of studios now all working in unison for their games. I imagine there's at least more than one studio working on Elder Scrolls and or Starfield. So Bethesda, as a publisher, has a lot going on right now. Mm-hmm. So gameplay-wise, I think I'll be satisfied with both Starfield and Elder Scrolls. I have no doubt in my mind. But I'm just hoping from a performance standpoint, a graphical standpoint, they have the courage to move on to a new engine. I don't care if we have to wait a decade, dude. Yep. Do what you have to do to make it something worthwhile, because you think about their legacy and the impact they've had in the industry. I'd like to see them continue doing that when they're going up against the big guns like Cyberpunk. I mean, I know it's the same developer, The Witcher, what's something we were just recently playing? Red Dead, stuff like that. I mean, they are being just kicked deeper and deeper and deeper into the ground as far as just strong open world RPG action experiences. So
we used to praise Skyrim as being like the top.
And Skyrim, I still think for what it is, dude, is it's just a phenomenal game. Like I think everything that's come after doesn't undermine anything that came before, but going forward now, right? Yeah, going forward, you can feel the age in that engine. Mm-hmm. So I think most people are hoping that they move on, but I know we're kind of bouncing around at multiple subjects concerning Bethesda at the moment, but the canvas bag was just a funny story I thought was worth mentioning. So, yeah, if you are one of those unfortunate souls that received the nylon bag, we hope you can either receive a canvas bag or get more vault points or something. I don't know. Whatever solution,
a mailman costume.
Yeah, whatever solution floats your goat there. I hope you get it in due time. Speaking of interesting stories or funny stories this week, David Jaffe, creator of the original God of War and Twisted Metal, criticized AAA games and their repetitiveness. Jacob, the story comes from Tyler Fisher.
This is a new story to me.
Of Comic Book. Yeah, I think it's an interesting discussion to have. It'll fuel some good talks between us. But how do you like my practical notes here again on paper?
I love them.
It's much easier to read, and I just like having it in my hand like this. And I can actually read it a bit easier instead of the tiny text on my phone.
There you go.
Or I sound like a third grader, and my teacher calls on me to read, and I'm like, the goat went to the store. You remember there's always that kid in your class, and I felt so bad for him. Thankfully, I was never that kid, but it was just so frustrating when especially when it's a substitute teacher that calls on the kid that can't read in the class, and everyone knows it's that kid, and everyone just sits there pissed because he takes 8 minutes to read a paragraph. But anyway, David Jaffe. Where was I? Tyler Fisher of comicbook.com. David Jaffe, an industry veteran who made a name for himself as the creator of God of War and Twisted Metal, has never been afraid to honestly speak his mind, and the latest target of his honesty is the AAA games industry. According to Jaffe, AAA games of yesteryear are pretty much the same games as modern AAA releases, just less pretty. In other words, they are riddled with repetitiveness, which is true. Now again, this Tyler Fisher is giving his own opinion in addition to this, and then we will talk about our own opinions, Jacob. Goes on to say, to illustrate his point, Jaffe called upon Naughty Dog's Uncharted franchise. After praising the series and Naughty Dog for their excellent work over the years, he pointed out that beyond an uptick in production and advancement in graphical fidelity, 2016's Uncharted 4: A Thief's End plays basically the same way as 2007's Uncharted Drake's Fortune. And again, I have to agree. That's not to take away from Uncharted 4. It's one of the best games of 2016, but from a gameplay perspective, it isn't much different than its 9-year-older predecessor. There's a bit more in there, but I feel like that's enough to fuel the discussion and kind of get your thoughts on that. But yeah, David Jaffe, more recently, he was, I think he was the director of Drawn to Death, kind of that action, artistic, competitive multiplayer shooter, and it just tanked critically and financially. But anyway, so he thinks that AAA games have not evolved much over the years, at least the last decade or so. Now, they look prettier. They may run better. They may have, like Red Dead's another good example of just it has all these interactive systems that implement new ways of playing the game or experiencing a game world. But just as far as gameplay is concerned, they haven't changed much. So what are your thoughts about that?
I think I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of games, especially a lot of open world games, they're pretty much the same. You go into the world, you do quests, you collect stuff, you earn.
Forgive me. You can keep talking.
But I hope you're okay.
I'm good.
You're concerning me. Yeah, I think he's right to an extent. I mean, going from like game to game, games are different, right? Each game has different systems that make them unique, whether it's like their art assets, but again, like I said, a lot of games are just, they play the same. Because like, what was it, when did FPSs really come to
I feel
be?
so much better after that. I'm so sorry.
What was like the first FPSs?
I think some of the first included...
Was it like Quake?
Quake and Doom were some of the first, I think, notable shooters. I think there was a couple things that may have come before that.
Yeah.
But the first, like, well-regarded first-person shooters were stuff like Doom and Quake, I believe, from id.
I feel like the industry needs like a new like genre, like something that's like VR maybe, like something that's just like substantially like changes the game.
People are losing their minds for PSVR right now. With titles like Moss, Tetris Effect, Beat Saber, stuff like that is killing it right now.
Yeah. A
lot of people are talking about it at the moment. I still, to this day, I mean, I haven't played nearly as much VR as I did when it first launched, or at least PlayStation VR, but I still think there's a very strong future in store for VR. I still think they're just scratching the surface of what's possible with the medium. I've yet to play Tetris. I haven't played Beat Saber. I've seen them in action, but I heard they're just unbelievable experiences when you play them. And I was actually listening to Colin Moriarty's podcast, Sacred Symbols, the other day, and he talked about how cool Moss was, and he described a little more about what it is.
Yeah.
And I knew it was about the little mouse that you kind of explore running around this like medieval world.
It's like a platformer, right?
Something like that. But just the way he described how the levels work and what you're actually doing within them sounded cool. So it kind of made me want to pick it up and play it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree with the article, but that doesn't mean that games still aren't fun or that I don't think there's stories still worth telling with the systems that we already have.
And this is the what's interesting about that discussion, where I don't totally disagree with him at all. but you have to admit that these games continue to sell like crazy.
Yeah.
Now, I do think there are spurts I hit when playing these games where I need a break, where I feel like I've had enough. And that's when I jump to stuff like Spyro, for example. It's a very old game, but it's a very fun game. I'm not saying we need more Spyro in the world. I'm just using that as an example. Like I was playing where I needed a break. What was I playing that I was talking about? I can't remember. I needed a break from Call of Duty and stuff. Stuff like that, I'll play for a bit. I'm like, okay, I could use a break from this, and I'll jump to something else. So, but financially, man, they kill it every time especially the AAA stuff. The majority of AAA titles that come out, especially sequels, make so much money, more money than the previous titles. I mean, sequels typically always do better than the original games, but that's something to be said as well, is that people continually buy all these games, and Call of Duty still outsold. I mean, I think over time, Red Dead will outsell, of course, Black Ops 4, but for the time being, Black Ops 4 is still the best-selling game of the year. And it hasn't been out very long at all, and it just continues to defy the criticism each year that people have for Call of Duty games. Like, oh, these games aren't evolving enough, and that's the prime example of people saying games aren't evolving enough is Call of Duty. Now, I still think there's an argument to be had there, but people always criticize that Call of Duty isn't evolving. It's never anything new. It's always the same old, but it continually sells like crazy.
And you can't blame companies for not innovating when
when it continually sells like crazy. Now,
Yeah.
I think a big part of Black Ops 4's success is Blackout, of course. I mean, without that, I don't think. I mean, it still have sold very well.
I wouldn't
Call
be
of
playing
Duty
it right now if it wasn't for Blackout.
The same, and the multiplayer is awesome. And I'm talking about like the competitive multiplayer stuff, but Blackout in and of itself is what drew me to Black Ops 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm always going to pick up Call of Duty because it's just old habits die hard in a lot of ways. But I think there's something to be said about that too. So do they evolve? I think yeah, but I also like he made a great point. I don't think publishers and even developers to an extent. I think developers are probably a little more willing to evolve and change a bit because they are the creators after all. They want to do the same thing every year. But publishers are probably a little more reserved because financially they're doing very well. I think I read an article last night that the games industry made $9.1 billion this year, and that's up by 24% from last year.
Wow!
So it just continually grows every year.
Probably a lot of it's Fortnite.
So and yeah, that alone probably. But until there's I think they said that the top contenders contributing to that were Fortnite. And not, I wouldn't say unbelievably, but surprisingly to me, Spider-Man was one of those. I knew Spider-Man sold well, and it clearly hasn't sold as much as Red Dead or Call of Duty, but apparently it made enough money to land on this list. Like the big ones were Fortnite, Spider-Man, Call of Duty, and a couple other ones in there. But yeah, that's why it's interesting to consider, because will publishers be willing to allow developers to have a little more free reign with evolving their games, or a franchise, for example, if the games are doing not only just well, but better each year as is.
See, that's why I keep saying that I want new IP, I want new franchise, I want to see new things, I want to see new stories told in new ways.
I think what keeps me coming back are games that implement things that are familiar but fresh. And it's funny, this is a random example. Jordan Peterson makes a great example of leading a fulfilling life, is leading a life that's rooted in a familiar setting, but also rides the edge of chaos. Whereas you're comfortable where you're at, but you always have to be willing to have a foot in the unknown.
Taking risks.
Exactly. So I think examples are Spider-Man's web swinging is one of the most satisfying things I've ever experienced in a video game. I adore the way that game feels to play. It just feels amazing. It looks awesome. Red Dead, one of my favorite parts is just interacting with that world and how realistic it feels. That's kind of what draws me to that game. In addition, of course, to the incredible setting, the amazing performances. The gameplay in and of itself is fun, but from a gameplay perspective, overall, I wouldn't say it really changes anything. Like that, you could argue is very much the same, but it's the way you interact with that world that really changes things up. So it's the little things that are familiar, but also fresh, that keep me coming back. And Call of Duty's example, it's Blackout. Now, we've played Battle Royale. It's very reminiscent of PUBG especially, but Call of Duty's mechanics, familiar in a new type of gameplay, Battle Royale, makes it interesting. So I think a lot of AAA games for me, that's what it does for me. Now, Uncharted, I think probably the only thing that drew me into it was, of course, the characters, and the gameplay is just action-packed fun. But the grappling hook was a big part of that. I thought the grappling hook was fun. Driving vehicles.
The main thing with Uncharted for me is just I wanted to see the narrative play out. Right?
Yeah, the narrative, and especially the set pieces, are just mind-blowing. So this
That's what Uncharted has always been about, though.
Yeah, totally. It's like, it is truly the summer blockbuster brought to life. Same with Call of Duty campaigns, which I hope we see a return of next year.
I could do without. I don't really care that much.
I really love the Black Ops campaign, or at least Black Ops 3's campaign sucked hard.
Yeah,
but
it did.
But hopefully, I think it's Infinity Ward next, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully they have a killer campaign. Because
when was the last time they released?
I remember how much we praised Infinite Warfare's campaign. That is so good. If they can follow it up with another great story, man. I hope it's the same writers too that worked on it, because it was just excellent.
What if they went back to space again? They're going to get the same.
I don't think they would
feedback?
dare. I don't think they would dare.
Yeah.
Because it would be just a shitstorm of criticism if they did that.
I know this is off topic, but what do they do next? Like, what's their next game?
I don't know, man. They've been mixing.
Are they finally going to do Modern Warfare?
Infinity War did Ghost, didn't they?
Yeah,
they did Ghost and then they did Infinite Warfare. So they haven't been continuing the Modern Warfare franchise. Will they go Modern Warfare 4? I think they might.
Maybe.
I think they might.
Maybe something new.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. We have Future with Black. Well, it's
they are
sort of Future with Black Ops, but we had World War II with Sledgehammer, and then maybe Modern again for Call of Duty. I think it's perfect timing too, because I think people are Battlefield's doing fine, but it's not doing nearly as well as it should be. And I think people have kind of had their taste of the historical shooters again. And now I think maybe people are ready for modern again.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of what I had to say about the should they evolve. I'd like to see some evolution. I was going to bring up my biggest concern are games like Anthem. It looks too much like Destiny to me. And they're going to have to really... I'm not one of those assholes who's like, you have to impress me before I buy your game. I'll probably play it anyway because I've always loved BioWare. And the game looks cool for sure. Who doesn't want to fly around as Iron Man and shoot aliens? It looks cool. But I think at the end of the day, if it's too much like Destiny, I'm only going to be invested for so long.
Like for me, it's not enough just to have a cool, interesting world. I need things and reasons to play the game. Like
totally.
That's my problem with 76.
Totally.
Honestly.
It has to be a very satisfying grind and progression constantly for it to be interesting.
And that's my problem with 76. Like I don't feel like there's any reason for me to keep playing that game. So why even start playing it?
And that's why I'm not totally drawn to Red Dead Online right now, because as everyone said, the economy blows and the sense of progression is almost non-existent right now. So why play?
Yeah,
it's fun. I mean, I like riding my horse. I like shooting at bad guys. I like causing a ruckus in the Wild West setting.
Yeah.
But if I'm not getting anything out of it, what's the point?
It's kind of weird for me to say because like you play games to play a game to have fun, right? And like I'm sitting here saying that I need like reasons to play a game besides having fun.
Yeah,
it's weird, but that's just how I feel.
Yeah, I think my last bit of concern is for Last of Us Part 2. Again, I will never dare underestimate Naughty Dog. They give me no reason to ever underestimate them. But gameplay, what can they possibly do in The Last of Us? A very grounded, realistic, gritty setting. How do they make gameplay more interesting from the previous game? You have your crafting, you have your intense combat, your ranged and melee combat. What else is there?
I hope they do something, yeah.
I don't know. That's the thing. When we saw that demo, graphically and animation-wise, it was astounding. It was truly impressive.
But it didn't really do anything.
Yeah, but gameplay-wise, I never once in my mind was like, wow, that looks like a ton of fun to play. Now, arguably, the first game I wouldn't say is the most fun game I've ever played. It's just one of the most impacting stories and unique and emotional worlds I've ever experienced in a game. Story-wise especially, I mean, those characters really hit me in the chest at the end there.
What if it turned into a lot more of like a stealthy game? Like you had to be stealthy.
I mean, a lot of the first game is stealthy.
Right.
You've played the first one, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Just like even more like so, if that makes sense.
I don't know.
We're just spitballing here.
I mean, from a gameplay-wise, I mean, you'd want the option, even if you are playing as Ellie, she seems to kick a lot of ass.
That's Uncharted though, right? Just shooting up all the enemies.
Yeah, I'm all about stealth. I'll play stealthy as often as I can. But I don't know. And even not just that, I mean, what can they possibly do? I don't know. That's the one where I'm wondering, like, what it is that's going to be different about it from a gameplay perspective. But interesting and a little topic to discuss there. I'm glad we could kind of have a little discussion about it. But yeah. David Jaffe, I mean, can say what he wants.
Let's see him make a new innovative game.
Yeah,
he tried
Drawn to Death. I mean, you can't blame the guy, and it didn't do well. But I don't know. I mean, that's where the indie game space I think is thriving right now. Now, of course, they don't make millions upon millions of dollars unless it's like your Stardew Valley or your Minecraft or Celeste has done very well. It's even nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, it starts with indies though. Like you see a game like PUBG come up and it changes everything, right?
Yeah.
So
and as far as innovation and creativity is concerned, we're seeing the majority of that in the indie space. Now, the giant success stories are few and far between in the indie space, but I always like to see what's coming from the indie space. I'm not actively searching for it. I'm not actively playing every indie game that comes out, but the big ones I've really enjoyed for the most part. And Gris, like I said, is definitely something worth considering. I mean, maybe, of course, wait for the reviews when it comes out, but everything I've played has been phenomenal. And just graphically, like I said, and musically, it's just so beautiful. It makes me want to cry for no reason.
Yeah. I should clarify, it didn't start with PUBG. It started with like DayZ and like H1Z1. That's where
Battle Royale has definitely been a revolution for multiplayer for sure. So,
but let's move on.
You want to talk about some Blackout?
Sure.
It's kind of a good tie-in to the discussion about AAA games. So this is also from Tyler Fisher of comicbook.com. It says, quote, if you've been looking forward to Treyarch adding a new Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout map, you can probably stop crossing your fingers, because it doesn't sound like it'll happen, at least not very soon. Speaking to a fan on Twitter, director David Vonderhaar revealed that rather than there's a typo in this paragraph, revealed that rather than add new maps to Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Blackout mode, it will add and subtract and change the current one. Further, apparently the first round of changes are coming soon. And when a fan
Christmas update? Question mark?
On Twitter, a fan asked if we may see a new map, and David tweeted, "We are on record as saying that we are more interested in adding / subtracting and morphing this map than making new maps at this time, but it's subject to change."
I'm okay with that. I don't really care about new maps, but give me like new locations.
Yeah, I'm fine with maps evolving, I guess.
Yeah. I think Fortnite does it extremely well.
This is what I think would be cool. I like how in Hunt Showdown there are different times of day and weather. I think it'd be cool if this map, not only just different areas, and you can always swap out, let's say, we have the diner from Transit Mode. We're swapping that area for a different multiplayer map that people have known from previous games. Sure. So either do something like that, but also add times of day. It'd be cool to play that map at night, or play that map with a heavy fog like in Hunt Showdown, or a rainstorm. Maybe it's a snowy version of the map. I think having the same map with different appearances already makes things more interesting.
Yeah.
Just have them on a cycle. And it makes gameplay a little more challenging too. Let's say in the snow, I don't know if snow would change much, but let's say at night, that your vision is reduced, or if there's heavy fog, same thing with vision, or if it's raining, you can't hear footsteps as easily or something, or gunfire in the distance kind of obstructs the way you hear things. So I think environmental changes like that are always cool.
Yeah.
So
see, I think Fortnite does this like incredibly well. It's like some of the coolest stuff in gaming right now. Like they literally have like a map changing event that happens at a certain time that you can only catch then.
While you're in game.
Yeah, and then you can literally witness it in game. Then you the map's just changed, and it's a new season.
Yeah, I have no doubt Call of Duty's going to try to mimic that.
Yeah,
and I think they can do a great job with it too. So,
but they're also a $60 game, and you have to buy a season pass, and you got to pay for cosmetics.
They have the money to do some big things with that game.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to hold back either. They're going to go all guns blazing.
What do you think's more likely? Like they just put snow on the map for a change, or do you think they like actually put it like a new spot, or they change a existing spot?
I think they'll do that. I think they'll definitely do that. I'm hoping, like I said, for environmental changes like weather and stuff, but I think we'll definitely see the map evolve as far as areas to explore and go to. And
I think snow might be tricky though, because if you walk in snow, you leave footprints, right?
That'd be kind of cool too. I mean, you can follow footprints. Now, think about this from a technical perspective. They're already pushing the limits of, at least on console, what they can handle with that game.
And making
especially with that many players and the size of the map.
Change things too.
That and just the rendering thing about having to keep footprints on the map, because once it's there, it has to maintain that. It's just more memory. It's building up. So I don't think they could do the footprint thing, but just aesthetically, it's pleasing to me to see a map look different.
Sure.
So I hope for that.
I hope there's something for like the winter season. We'll see.
Me too. Maybe a little some Christmas trees around, some snow.
Yeah. Yeah. In another tweet, he said he was like, how you don't have any skins on your guns in Blackout. They are gonna work on changing that.
Oh, nice.
So it'd be cool to
I'm
have,
surprised that wasn't already in the game.
Yeah.
I love me some Red Tiger, man. Good old fashioned Red Tiger.
Sure.
Be cool. Pokemon Go trainer battles are incoming. This is pretty cool. This comes from Andrew Webster of The Verge. He says, quote, "It looks like one of the most anticipated Pokemon Go features is finally on its way. In a series of tweets, developer Niantic, is it Niantic?
I think it's Niantic.
Niantic teased player versus player battles. It's a feature that the developer has promised for some time, and it's an integral part of the traditional Pokemon experience. In fact, the battles were part of the initial pitch when Pokemon Go was first announced back in 2015. But much like trading, battles took longer than anticipated to actually implement into the game. Unfortunately, right now we don't have much. We don't know much about the feature, or know much about how the feature will work. But Niantic says that players will need to join a league to play, which lets you battle with Pokemon at various strength levels. Trainer battles are coming to the game, quote, soon. That's pretty cool, Jacob. I don't know many people that are still playing that actively. Do you still play Pokemon Go?
Nope.
Especially now that you're playing Let's Go Pikachu. I mean, what's the point?
I haven't played it in... I think I picked it back up over the summer, maybe.
No, I know there's still quite a large player base of people actively playing that game, so I imagine they'll be pretty excited about it now. If the whole world was playing, like they were when the game first launched, when everywhere you looked, people were playing the game, then I'd be a little more inclined to re-download the app and maybe dabble in that a bit. Because I don't know, I wouldn't say it's too little too late, because there's still a lot of people playing the game, but people in my immediate circle of, whether it be where I work or where I go to school, or even you and Preston, none of us are playing it anymore.
Nope.
Will we see a resurgence in the player base growing again from this? I don't know.
I don't think so.
But it is cool. I'm glad it's coming to the game, but I don't know if it's enough to get me to come back to it. But
I think it's times come, where it was huge, and it's always gonna have like it's pretty big fan base for
like Hogwarts Mystery.
Yeah. But it's Hogwarts Mystery. My God. I still have a coworker at work that plays that.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Has he graduated yet?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, the game really slows down like a ton once you get to your 4th or 5th year.
Okay.
Like it takes you forever to get through chapters.
Bummer.
Yeah. Like the first couple of years were like really short. Oh, it beefs up like massively.
I'm hoping that Harry Potter game we talked about that leaked recently is very beefy.
I want to see that at the Game Awards.
I'd like to see it finally announced at the Game Awards. Yeah.
That would be huge.
That would be cool. It was leaked, man. Just announce it. Who cares?
Yeah, come on.
Let's quit being so secretive.
Come on, Rocksteady. We know you're working on it.
Some other article, I think it was Jason Schreier's post on Reddit, where he talked about he can't understand why the industry's so... It's like military secrets they're guarding with all these game announcements and everything. Who cares? Just let people know. We know movies that are coming out years from now and TV shows that are in production. What's the difference with games?
I don't know.
It's bizarre.
Yeah.
So, Pokemon Go trainer battles are on the way, Jacob. A guy hacked printers around the world to tell people to subscribe to Pewdiepie.
That's cool.
That's hilarious. This is a very small story, but I thought it was funny. It comes from Nathan Grayson of Kotaku. He says, an Indian music production company called T-Series has been fast on Pewdiepie's heels for a while, and their subscriber counts are a near tie, and they could topple him any day now. People want the face of YouTube to remain an individual rather than a big company.
I just think it's incredible how much T-Series has helped PewDiePie, because he is growing like substantially.
Yeah.
Like the last couple of weeks, he's gotten millions of subscribers.
I think he jumped from 69 million to 72 in a matter of a couple weeks.
Insane.
Or less.
Yeah, like this is the best thing that could have ever happened to him. So, I mean, he doesn't even, like at the end of the day, I don't think he even cares anymore. Like how many subscribers he has.
Yeah.
Like he has an audience. It
is funny though to see him try to remain on top.
I watch all his videos to this day. I think he's the best channel on YouTube, in my opinion. I mean, there's a reason he's at top, because he's absolutely hilarious.
He is funny.
I don't see how you could see it any other way, honestly.
Yeah, I thought that was just so funny that someone managed to hack printers to print that with the bro fist and everything on the page. Subscribe to PewDiePie.
I mean, you'll never be able to tell, but like how much did that, gain in terms of subs?
Yeah, I don't know, but that is amazing.
It's cool. I haven't watched his video speaking to it. I'm sure he has one.
Oh, yeah. If it's not already out, I'm sure it's coming soon.
I'm a little behind on his videos, but I do watch them.
The PlayStation Plus free games for December have been announced, Jacob, and none of them appeal to me whatsoever.
Well, tell me. Maybe they will to me.
We got Soma on PS4. I think it's that space game.
I've heard good things about that.
Onrush. I've heard some things about that.
Some things.
Ceraden on PS3.
Oh.
Steins Gate on PS3. Ironclasts on PS Vita, and Crossbuy with PS4, and Papers, Please on Vita.
That's really cool.
Nothing exciting there for me, but those are the games if you're interested. Yeah, they are free. You can pick them up this month. Daredevil was canceled, Jacob. Heartbreaking, but not surprising.
Teardrop.
Yeah. The good thing is that not only was Season 3... Have you finished Season 3 yet?
Nope.
Have you started?
Nope.
Oh, are you going to?
Yep.
Okay.
I just don't know when.
Yeah, season 3 thankfully went out on a very high note. I think it ended in the perfect way for them to cancel the show.
That's good to know.
So
it wasn't like a big cliffhanger.
Yeah, if they'd gone out on season 2 or Defenders or something, it would have been disastrous. But yeah, they were lucky enough to end on a very high note. Thankfully.
So they haven't canceled Jessica Jones yet. Is there another season in production right now?
They'll probably cancel that too. I mean, they are in production of her 3rd season.
So I hope they finish that. You know,
they'll probably release that, cancel it. They'll probably do the same for Punisher too. They'll probably
is there another Punisher?
Yeah, they're in the middle of production for that too. They may have wrapped production. I don't know. But
I love Punisher so much.
Punisher was cool.
That was great.
So they will have season 2 of that, season 3 of Jessica Jones. They'll probably can both of those too. Many reasons that have been speculated. I think the obvious ones are that Disney Plus is incoming.
Well, they've said that that's not the last that we see of that Daredevil, right? They have been on record of saying that.
Someone may have been, but the main points people are making that Disney Plus is inbound, and they're gonna have a bunch of Marvel shows on there anyway. And Netflix has always paid a contract fee or whatever, or licensing fees to acquire those characters for Netflix. So it's expensive for them to run those shows anyway. And now that Disney's coming and it's their properties, they figure might as well just can them now.
Yeah,
they may or may not be rebooted on Disney's platform, but it's questionable to see how Disney's platform is going to turn out because, well, they have like a parental control setting on there because they're going to have shows like The Mandalorian, which I imagine will be a PG-13 type show in the realm of Star Wars. Not going to do anything R-rated in Star Wars, I'd imagine, but Daredevil, all the Marvel shows are very much M-rated or mature rated. So
okay, here's a headline from The Deadline. Marvel promises more Daredevil adventures after Netflix cancellation.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
will he wind up in a movie? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be kind of cool.
That'd be cool, yeah.
But
I hope it's still, that Daredevil.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's great.
But that begs the question, will Disney Plus have brutal shows like Daredevil and Luke Cage and stuff, and Punisher especially on their platform, where like families will be using it and everything? I mean, families already use Netflix, but I don't know if there's a parental control setting on Netflix or not. I know there's Netflix Kids. There's Netflix Kids and there's regular Netflix. So I don't see why Disney wouldn't want to do something like that themselves, but we'll see if it's even worth it to them to invest in bringing those shows back to life. When they're going to have Loki's show, they're going to have Scarlet Witch's show with the Vision. I think someone else is getting a show in there. I can't remember. But I don't know. We may or may not see him rebooted. It sucks that Daredevil's canceled, but again, that's not much of a surprise because Luke Cage and Iron Fist were canceled as well.
Yeah, if Daredevil's canceled, then the other two that aren't canceled yet are canceled.
No doubt. Yeah, they'll all be gone after their final seasons, but hopefully their final seasons end on high notes like Daredevil did. So I even heard the last season of Iron Fist was pretty good.
There was another season of Iron Fist.
There was a second season. Did I watch it? I haven't felt compelled to watch it.
I'm not going to if I haven't, but man,
I heard Luke Cage's second season was pretty bad, unfortunately.
It was okay.
You watched it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think.
I love season 1.
I don't remember.
At least I love the first half of season 1. So, bummer, dude. But oh well. What else do we have on here? Okay, this is what I'm excited about. That was the bad news as far as TV and movies are concerned.
Okay.
The good news is that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the animated movie coming from Phil Lord and Chris Miller, has received just incredible reviews. I mean, the positivity is through the roof, Jacob.
That's great.
And I'm very excited to see it.
When does it come out?
December 13th? Something like that. Maybe it's the 17th?
I'm looking it up.
I can't remember, Jacob.
What's it called?
Maybe it's December 14th. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I think it's the 14th. Did I type in release date after it? Why do you never type in release date? That's how you find it.
That's too much typing, man.
Just type in.
December 14th.
Knew it. Okay. I'm so excited to see that. So, I mean, I figured just...
I didn't know Chris Pine was playing Spider-Man. Or Peter Parker.
Chris Pine isn't.
That's what it says here.
It's not Chris Pine.
Oh, top. You sure?
Yeah. Chris Pine. Chris Pine is the guy from Star Trek.
You're right.
That's not him.
You sure?
No. It's that Jake something guy from whatever that show's called.
I don't know, Garrett.
I would literally...
It says Nick Cage is
I would let someone
Spider-Man
shoot me in the
too.
head if I was wrong about that.
It says Nick Cage is voicing
He is. He's Spider Noir. Or Spider-Man Noir.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Into the Spider-Verse cast.
Are you sure it's not Chris Pine?
I swear on my life it's not Chris Pine. He may be in the movie.
IMDb says he's playing Spider.
Dude, IMDb is the biggest joke. I don't know why people always go to that. Jake Johnson is playing Peter Parker.
There, it lists him right there. Chris Pine.
What movie are you looking at right now? What does it say he's playing? No, that is so wrong. That's why you never go to IMDb. It's the Wikipedia of movie news.
Okay.
So, but I'm so excited to see that. From a visual standpoint, I always knew it was going to be breathtaking. Even the little snippet you get at the end of Venom as a post-credit scene was really cool to see. So I'm glad to hear that even the story and the performances are just as strong as the visuals in the movie. And I had every bit of confidence with the trailers because Phil Lord and Chris Miller, to me, are absolute geniuses, especially with comedy. And it was a shame to see them canned from Solo. But it's cool to see that they're seeing much success coming back to Sony with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So, and apparently they've set up this movie to branch off into more stories. I think we're getting not only a sequel to this movie, but like an all-female cast version of the movie or something.
Yeah, I saw
going
that article,
forward.
yeah.
So
that's cool.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see it. So exciting. Community questions, Jacob. You ready for this?
Boy.
We got some doozies this week.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for submitting questions week in and week out for this podcast because it is our favorite part of the show where we can answer your questions directly. It's always an interesting discussion, and we cannot wait to get back to Ask IOG, I should say. What's going on Thursday? You do anything Thursday?
The Game Awards.
Oh, yeah, we can't do it Thursday. No Ask IOG this week. Unfortunately, unless we could film on another night, but I work pretty much every night this week. We're doomed. That'll happen again at some point. But again, never hesitate to send us questions because we collect them and we will always have questions for either the podcast or Ask IOG going forward. Yep. So please keep them coming. But if you want to submit questions to have them read on this show or Ask IOG, you can reach us in one of three places. You can email us at itsobviousgaming@gmail.com. You can tweet at us at obvious_gaming or submit your questions in the Ask IOG section of our Discord channel. Now, all the links to those places can be found in the description of anywhere you're listening on the internet. And always include the hashtag AskIOG if you want your question read publicly on the show. We don't want to accidentally read your private messages. The more I talk, Jacob, the more sicker I'm getting.
I need to go to the bathroom.
My throat hurts so bad, dude, that I can write an emotional poem about it.
Do that.
Yeah. Can't breathe either. First one comes from Vanek. Vanek writes in and says, after listening to your podcast, I decided to grab a glass of ice-cold McFinnigan's. As I drank, the frothy foam of my beverage made me wonder, what are your boys' top 3 most played games of all time?
Ooh, good question.
Yeah, quick shout out to the creamy McFinnigan's, my friends. A great beverage. Never let anyone at a party try it, though, because tell them it's just a very unique beer that's all yours and no one else's.
Yeah. That's a good question. I think I know my 3. World of Warcraft, easily number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is probably Destiny, the first Destiny. I played that a lot. Then I think maybe a close third is Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I haven't played like any open world games for a long period of time like I did multiplayer games. Like I prestiged, I think at least 8 or 9 times in Black Ops 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I played that a ton. And then Destiny, I was playing that daily, like for years.
Yeah.
Before Destiny 2 came out.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't played Destiny 2 nearly as much as I did the first one.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully. My top 3 are Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, Fallout 3, and Hunt Showdown.
Are you sure?
Yep.
You sure Hunt Showdown? What about Halo, dude?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I played a lot of Halo, but collectively I played a lot of Halo, but any particular Halo title. Well, then again...
I don't know, dude. You used to play a ton of Call of Duty and Halo.
Well, yeah. Then again, Halo 3 I played from 2007 all the way up until about 2013. A lot.
I think Halo 3's got to be one of yours.
Yeah, Halo 3 probably is one of them.
I don't think you played it that much.
So that knocks out Hunt Showdown. So my top 3 are probably Fallout 3, Halo 3, and Modern Warfare 1.
Yeah, you've only been playing Hunt for half a year.
I have over 200 hours in Hunt, which really isn't.
Really?
Yeah, it really isn't that much, but it is quite a bit of hours there. So that's probably my 4th most played at this point. But yeah, probably Halo 3 and Call of Duty and Fallout.
Yeah, I've probably played like literal months of my life in WoW. Maybe a year. Probably not a year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Long time.
All great games, I'd say. There's a reason we played them for as long as we did.
Yeah.
Vanek, thank you for your question and enjoy that those McFinnigans.
Yeah, that was a great question.
I could go for a glass myself. Matty G writes in and says, hello, boys. The holidays quickly coming, it always brings up comfy holiday gaming memories. Is there a particular comfy gaming memory from the holidays that y'all can recall? For example, I remember Garrett talking about playing his Switch near the Christmas tree. Thank you for making my Monday commute something I look forward to. Maddie, it's always a pleasure. Thank you for your question.
I've been playing Pokemon near the Christmas tree.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sitting down watching the Georgia-Alabama game last night with my Switch in hand.
Nice.
And the Christmas tree was up. It felt really cozy and nice.
Glad to hear that, Jacob.
Yeah.
My most memorable Christmas memory is receiving Fallout 3, Far Cry 2, and one other game that Christmas.
That's
I can't remember what it was.
Christmas right there.
But playing Far Cry 2 Christmas morning for a few hours and thinking it was cool, but Preston calling me later. He's like, dude, you have to start Fallout. Because I picked up Fallout because I loved Oblivion. And of course, we saw a bunch of it at E3 that previous summer. So Preston and I both picked up Fallout, and we both thought we were going to enjoy Far Cry more than Fallout. And as soon as I jumped into Fallout, man, it just changed my life forever because I love that game so much. It had such an impact on me then and still remains to be that way today. And just have profound memories of playing that on Christmas Day and later on, of course, for a couple of years after that, for Fallout 3. So that's probably one of my more memorable gaming Christmases. Yeah. I remember being disappointed for asking for Guitar Hero 3 one year for Christmas. I think it was the previous year, actually. And maybe it was the following year. I can't remember. But that game bored me to death. I just never got into Guitar Hero ever. That's why I never got better than playing medium. I could barely play hard because I just got so bored of it so quickly. Yeah. So I remember at Christmas morning playing like 2 hours of Guitar Hero and just being, I mean, of course I was thankful for it, but just being bored to death. I was like, why did I ask for this of all things?
I got a couple examples, unless you have more
I think that's about it for me as far as gaming's concerned.
I have a lot of memories of playing just like all the WoW Christmas events every year when that would roll around. There's just always like, just playing games like when there's in-game holiday seasonal events, it just makes it seem special, you know? I like that in games. Also on like Christmas Day, our family doesn't do this anymore, but we used to have Wii Sports tournaments, and we would like compete. I would make a bracket for us to compete in, and we would compete in like, it would usually be bowling, but sometimes we did like tennis and stuff. We'd like have multiple sporting events in the game, and we would compete, and I typically always won because I was the best.
Of course.
But it was always I have really good memories of us all just having a good time, you know, playing the Wii. That was like the whole thing behind the Wii was mainly just Wii Sports, right? Just everyone just playing Wii Sports together.
Yeah, a ton of families bought that for that exact reason.
That's what's the best selling console of all time. But yeah, I think I have another one. Do you have any more? I'm trying to think of.
That's cool though. I've never had a family gaming event like that.
Yeah,
my family has never come close to playing a game together.
Yeah, you kind of got to go out of your way to make it happen. Yeah, that's what I had to do. Yeah, that's a couple that I have. I have a lot of good memories playing Breath of the Wild. I think I was playing that last year during Christmas. I think. Was it last year? No, it was the year before. I don't know, dude.
I think our Christmas this year will
special.
be, for me, it'll be a cross between Smash Bros. And Spyro for me this Christmas.
Gotcha.
I'm tempted to play Persona, but there's still other stuff I want to play before that. I'm going to play Persona when there's such a dry spell of games that I have no other choice but to play it.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm going to play it. Is that all for you for holiday gaming memories?
I had a good time playing Skyrim 2 years ago during the winter season, which fit that game.
It's harder to have gaming memories these days on Christmas because I always pick up games when they come out, not actually on Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'll miss that though. I'll cherish those memories forever.
Yeah. I imagine this year it'll be some Smash, some I'll probably be done by Red Dead, but I will be playing Red Dead this month a lot. What else? Finishing Pokemon, and a lot of Blackout for sure.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I'll be playing some more Hunt, of course. Speaking of which, might as well go to that now. Get Some writes in and says, "Why, hello there, you spicy boys. So, about this recent question I heard that involved werewolves in Hunt Showdown. Well, what would you think about Crytek making something like the werewolf, or maybe a vampire that was like a roaming monster that was sort of an event? Like the werewolf could only come out on a full moon night, or the vampire would only come out at night but stayed inside during the day like a regular boss. I could see the Garrett screams now. Just wandering along and a big old werewolf comes sprinting out of the woods. I've said that myself for a while now. I'd like to see a roaming boss. They'd be far more terrifying. It'd be a little unfair if someone was just, I mean, at the same time, you could argue this. I mean, there are multiple matches where someone will spawn and they'll just luckily be right near where the boss is and they won't even have to go looking for him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there are advantages and disadvantages to that. But it'd be similar to where there's a roaming boss and you spawn and the boss just happens to be 5 feet from where you spawn. But maybe it'd be a situation where the boss spawns, like a roaming boss would spawn in addition to another boss and would serve as like a bonus boss.
Wait, you don't jump out of a bus and hunt?
No.
Oh.
You jump out of an airplane.
Oh.
So it would be cool to see. I think a roaming boss would make sense in addition to another boss that serves as like a bonus. Now, you risk giving yourself away if you fire at this other boss that comes chasing after you, but at the same time, you get a huge bonus for defeating it and escaping with its bounty as well. So I think a werewolf would be perfect for that, and it'd be absolutely terrifying at night, too. So I've said that for a while now. I'd like to see a roaming boss. It'd be cool. And I think it would only work, again, if it was in addition to another boss. And it wasn't as much of a reward as the main boss, but it was a substantial bonus that's worth either searching for it or going out of your way to kill it to get additional experience. And it could help players that, say, are unlucky and spawn on the opposite side of the map from where the boss actually is in the map. Someone kills it, gets away very quickly, and you're kind of just stuck like, well, I guess we can farm some monsters and then leave. But it'd be cool if like, oh, there's this roaming boss, let's go after it. And it kind of serves as an additional something to fight with remaining players in the match. Should be kind of cool.
Yeah.
So from a technical standpoint, I don't know how you can make that work because I'm not a developer, but I think that sounds awesome. And again, the vampire creature sounds cool too, to be like a flying creature or something that flies would be kind of cool.
I think you'd have to like I don't know how to develop games, so I'm just like spitballing here, but I think you'd have to like develop random paths that he would just randomly take throughout matches.
Perhaps, but then it becomes predictable, and you're like, well, we know he's going to take this path.
Well, that's why
next.
he has multiple paths that he would take. Just like every match, he could be any number of paths that he would do.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that could potentially be cool.
I still like my idea. I think I talked about last week about a witch, like a Blair Witch type enemy or boss. It'd be kind of cool. So, but get some. I really like that idea. I hope we see something like that.
Sure.
I don't know if anyone's pitched that idea in the Hunt Showdown Discord, because I pitched one idea that got a lot of praise about the shopkeeper one time.
You're in the Hunt Discord?
Yeah, I'm not on there as often as I was when I first joined it, but yeah.
Is it active? Like,
yeah. Yeah, there's several. I mean, when I was there were several thousand people on it, but I haven't gone back to look in a while.
Did you get him to come to our Discord?
I did not. Yeah, they're pretty. There's some pretty significant rules as far as pitching things and using it correctly.
Hey, I'm the one guy in my Discord that plays Hunt. Come join us.
Yeah,
I'm just fucking with you.
So maybe we'll pitch that idea too if no one else has already pitched it. I'm sure someone has at this point. So anyway, where were we? Got to get back on track here. Get some. Thank you for your question.
Get some.
Oh, I'm dying. Comatose writes in and says, hey again, guys. I thought the scenario today, due to my Smash Bros. Ultimate hype.
Ooh.
I thought of this scenario today. You can pick one game only, and whichever game you pick, you instantly become a god at it. We're talking professional esports player level of good. I'd pick Smash Ultimate. What game do you pick and why? I've thought about this since reading it earlier.
I guess because of like the current state of esports right now, it would either have to be Overwatch or
I knew it.
Fortnite.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, you have to go with I was thinking I'd probably go with a popular one,
It's mainly for the Overwatch League, though.
You got to think about it for the money, too. If it's a small little game, you're only getting paid so much, depending on the reception and the popularity of the game. Now, Fortnite would be one of the biggest.
I say Fortnite because I think it's going to develop into something, like, huge. Like, it's already huge, right? But I don't know if, like, the esports in general for that game is, like, substantial yet.
Like Overwatch League.
Yeah, like Overwatch League, it's established.
It's well
league.
established.
Like, people have contracts. Like, I think that's a nice thing to fit into.
For sure.
If you're great.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to be pro in a league like that where it's treated like the NFL, the NBA, or something like that. I think it'd be awesome. Now, part of me wants to say, like, I'd love to be a pro at Hunt Showdown, but there's no league for that. There's no esports
also, like,
for that.
League of Legends has the same thing. So,
Yeah, I'd want to be a popular game. I think since I really enjoy Overwatch, I'd probably go with Overwatch myself. I'd love to play for the Atlanta Reign. It'd be awesome, but I'm horrible. I wouldn't say I'm horrible. I'm just a very, very average player.
Oh, same, yeah.
Very average Overwatch player, but...
Especially since I haven't picked it up.
I like the idea of being in a league, like a professional team where it's promoted and celebrated, and there's like a big crowd, and you have jerseys and everything, and stats are kept, and... Yeah. And even though it's funny at times, like having the penalties that happen to players for doing certain things, it just feels very real and, like you said, substantial and well established. Yeah. So I think I'd probably go with Overwatch myself.
Speaking of Overwatch, like, I'm like really interested to see if it has the same success that it did as last year.
Because I think it's going to do even worse, honestly.
Even worse?
Yep, I think it's going to do worse.
Yeah, I think it is too. I think the numbers are going to be down. I don't think that's because of the league. I think it's because of the game.
Yeah, just the popularity of the game.
Yeah.
So people need something. I mean, Fortnite might. I mean, that's the thing. Fortnite's still massive.
Like Fortnite, like they hold tournaments and like people, like they compete in them. But I don't think there's like a. I don't know how like it works. You know.
Yeah, I wish Halo was still as popular as it used to be, because I used to love watching Halo tournaments. Yeah. Maybe Halo Infinite will spruce things up again. I don't know.
Probably not.
But I'd like to see it make a comeback.
Yeah.
Now, if Halo was still insanely popular and had giant, I mean, tournaments still happen for Halo, but they're not nearly as reported on or promoted as, say, Overwatch and League of Legends and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have as much money.
Part of me wants to say I'd love to be a Halo pro, because I just love Halo so much, dude. I'm going to change my answer. I'm going to go with my heart. I'm going to say Halo.
That'd be cool, yeah.
Even if it's a dinky little league that doesn't make nearly as much money as it used to, I'm going to say
That's
Halo.
what Ninja used to do.
Halo?
Before he became what he is now.
He was a Halo pro?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
I think like not too long ago, like 2014 or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll jump into Halo Infinite.
Yeah, he was like doing that and streaming at the same time, and then obviously the streaming blew up.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
sick, dude. Halo for me, Overwatch for you?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah, and Comatose is going with Smash.
Smash would be cool too. Have you ever watched competitive Smash?
I have. It doesn't interest me. It is insane, but it doesn't really interest me.
Gotcha.
But because I suck, that's why.
Great question.
It's moderately inspiring though to see pros duke it out in Smash. Yeah. It's pretty wild too, especially when they have like the super high percentages of health. It's like coming down to the wire.
Like if anyone that lands a hit's gonna win.
Exactly. Yeah. It's crazy. So Comatose, I wanted to ask if because you spell Comatose the way Skillet spells Comatose in one of their albums from back in the day. Just wondering if that's where you got the way you spell Comatose, or if it's just coincidence. I remember the word that time. Adam G writes in and says, hello, Miles. He spells that. Miles. So I just got a Samsung 4K QLED TV.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, it does.
I don't know.
I have a PS4, and I am already noticing a huge difference in graphics quality now that I can run games in HDR.
I assume he has a Pro, maybe?
Not yet. Yeah, that's what his question's about.
Sorry.
Red Dead Redemption 2 looks even more amazing now. My question is the jump from where I'm at to getting a PS4 Pro worth it? Or would the change be minor enough to just not worry about it? Adam, I've said this a couple times now. There is a significant difference between PS4 Pro and regular PS4. Now, it is not as significant as, say, Xbox One to One X. One X is undeniably the most powerful console in the market at the moment. But that doesn't undermine how great PS4 looks graphically and the way it runs games. For example, Spider-Man on regular PS4 versus PS4 Pro is night and day difference. The way it looks, the way it feels to play. Now, I'm not saying regular PS4 feels bad by any means. It doesn't even look bad. I'm just saying there's a very clear difference between regular and Pro. Same with Horizon. Horizon is a giant leap in fidelity in the way it performs when you're playing on Pro. Literally, just about every game I've played on Pro, you can tell a huge difference. So, and again, it doesn't at all make anything on regular PS4 look bad or feel bad. It just is a bit better on Pro. So, but again, the big examples are Horizon, Spider-Man, and even Red Dead. So, because whenever I had to capture gameplay for Red Dead, it just did not look anywhere near as nice as it does on Pro when I'm not capturing gameplay.
Gotcha.
So, always worth the investment, I'd say. I'm sure there's some deals going on for Pro in this holiday season of some sort. So, I'd say it's if you want the most out of your 4K TV, definitely go with the Pro, for sure. And we still have some killer games coming to PS4 for the remainder of the we assume the remainder of the generation, with Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding, Days Gone, Dreams, Last of Us Part 2 especially. So I'd say jump the gun and go with the Pro for sure. Well worth the investment. Don't regret my purchase at all.
I have no opinion because I don't have one.
You think you'll ever get one? Or are you just going to ride out until PS5 comes?
I'm thinking about just riding it out, man.
Yeah.
Like, why?
And PS4 is still a great console.
I was going to get the Kingdom Hearts 3 bundle for the Pro, but I'm not even so sure I want to do that anymore.
And just invested heavily in that PC too. Speaking of which, my new monitor that Preston had suggested that he also picked up is killer, man. You experienced it yourself earlier.
Yes.
Did you like it?
It's cool, yeah.
It is very nice. Yeah, just running 1440p is obviously much nicer than 1080p. I mean, it's not a giant leap, but it's definitely significant.
The thing beautiful. I like the most, aside from that, is just that you can raise the monitor up and down without like a thing on the wall.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
It's got a nice stand.
And of course, the 144 hertz refresh rate is a huge leap from 60 frames.
Yeah, this is your first 144 monitor.
And that's funny. I mean, you can't always see the difference, but the way it feels is just so much better.
You can tell, like, playing a shooter.
Yeah, it feels silky smooth, and especially for Hunt Showdown. I know I always repeat that, but
yeah, I mean
that's a very slow type of game where you're aiming and taking cover and stuff. But even just because I upped the refresh rate obviously, and it running at a much higher frame rate. But I had to dip the from high settings to medium settings. It doesn't look quite as gorgeous as it does on high, but it just runs so beautifully. Same with Call of Duty and Battlefield. I tried as well. So worth the investment. And like you said, raising and lifting it is very smooth too. Yeah. And G-Sync is wonderful. Can't complain about that. So great monitor.
Yeah.
My nose.
We're almost done.
Yeah. Adam G., thank you for your question, my friend. Sam Harris writes in and says, "To whom it may concern, I have a query for you gentlemen.
Okay.
If one were to start a gaming entertainment development business, what would be its modus operandi? Focus on producing the most premier gaming entertainment experience, delivering to a consumer a bevy of content that would ensure repeat business, or produce a fair experience with acceptable mechanics that appeals to a broader consumer ecosystem for the purpose of this query for the purpose of making the most capital possible. It would give this writer the most glee if you could answer this query post-haste. I hear this new Pony Express is quite the new way to send correspondence among fellows. With sincerest regards, Lord McFougal of the Atlanta McFougals, proprietor of the Good Vibes Emporium."
Okay, I need you to repeat like the main question there.
Yeah. So if you were to make a gaming development entertainment business, would you focus on producing the most premier gaming entertainment experience, delivering to the consumer a bevy of content that would ensure repeat business, or produce a fair experience with acceptable mechanics that appeals to a broader consumer ecosystem for the purpose of making the most capital possible? This is what's interesting. To me, that sounds the same. Like if you're looking for repeat business, that would also inherently suggest you're earning the most capital possible.
Yeah. Let's modify this. Let's say like you make something safe that appeals to
a broader
the most people,
audience,
or you make something that innovates more and appeals to maybe a more niche audience, perhaps.
I've never been business oriented. Like I just don't have that brain. Like for example, this is funny. I've always been about the art. I know it sounds so hipster like, but I've always been more about the art itself, or like the design or the idea itself, more than what you can get out of it financially. Now I get you have to have the business side and you have to have the artistic side. Those two work in unison. And at the end of the day, it's all about the money. It has to be. Otherwise, you can't progress. You can't do more things because you have to make money to continue. I totally accept that and get that.
You enjoy the journey more than the outcome?
I enjoy like the creation and the art behind something more than the money I can get out of it. Now, of course, like I said, I understand you have to make money from something. But my most recent example is I made with my Red Dead review is actually it's disappointing for me in a lot of ways because I was so rushed with all of that. But the review itself had this really awesome intro that included a song from Django Unchained that had this really cool title sequence at the beginning that I mimicked to make it look like the opening to a Western either TV show or movie.
Yeah.
And it was really cool, and it was cut to the music at the beautiful cinematic camera from the game, me riding my horse through all these different environments. It was just epic going into the title of the review and then into me actually talking about the game. And the song I have used in the past multiple times, and it's never been dinged for a copyright strike, ever. So I knew I was safe, and even to check that while I was editing that video all night long, I uploaded that song all by itself as a private video to Cog's YouTube channel to see if YouTube would catch it. Because sometimes you upload something and YouTube won't catch it for hours later, or until hours later. So I had that going, and I knew even in my head, I was like, I've used this song multiple times. It's never been hit before. So that intro took me a good additional hour and a half to like make perfect. It was so cool. It was exciting. And I was very proud of it. I was like, this is a very cool way to intro the video.
Yeah.
So I upload it. It goes live. I think, it being a Reddit review, it instantly got like 3,000 views in the first 10 minutes. So I'm like, oh, cool. Like, video's already doing well. People are already responding to the intro. People are like, oh, this got me so hyped. I'm like, yes, that's the impact I wanted to have with this video or with this intro. And of course, an hour goes by, and it was the worst timing too, because I told you I uploaded the video 20 minutes before embargo lifted, and then I immediately had to drive to school because I had an 8 a.m. class. So I'm in heavy traffic trying to get into Atlanta, and all of a sudden I realized on my phone that there was a copyright strike because I got the notification in an email. I was like, shit. It didn't tell me what it was for, but I knew because I couldn't see because I was driving, obviously. I just saw the notification, and I had a feeling in my gut, and just my heart sank. I was like, it has to be that video. And long and behold, it was. It caught that song, and it never caught it before. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it was a much popular video than all the rest that it kind of evaded the algorithm for a long time.
Because you never like made the other ones live, right? Maybe like this time because it was live.
Maybe because it was monetized or something. But even then, like even if you don't, because we've had copyright strikes, not strikes, but copyright dings in the past, and we haven't monetized any of our videos. So it'll still catch them and say like, the owner of this is going to has put ads on your video.
Or maybe it would eventually, but it's like more aggressive in terms of like videos that are monetized.
Yeah, perhaps. But yeah, I got dinged, so I had to obviously strip that off YouTube. And this is hilarious too. I re-edited that intro in class with complete silence because I told you I spent like 10 hours on this video, so I knew where all the music cues were. I knew where my voiceover came in. I knew where all the levels were set. So I had to go in and pretend like I was taking notes, but I was actually re-editing the whole intro to that video. It took me like half an hour to fix and squish everything back without it. So I had to re-edit it and then re-upload it.
Sounds awful.
And before I stripped it, by the time I got to school, it hit like 9,000 views. So I had to cut it, and it still did really well. I think it's up to like 77,000 now. But still, I was just heartbroken that I spent so much time in that. I was so proud of that intro, and people thought it was cool, and I had to completely remove it because of that.
Listen, learn, kids.
But the reason why I bring that up is because I was of the mindset where I was like, because I wasn't sure how many views this was going to get. So I was of the mindset, I was like, can we just, eat the monetization for this? And like, I was so proud of that intro. I almost told Cog, was like, just let me pay you guys to just keep the video as is, and I'll pay you whatever the difference is for the monetization. Because 77,000 views, that isn't that much money. I can't imagine. I don't know how much you get paid for YouTube. I'm tempted to look that up and see what it equates to, but I was almost like, just leave the video and let's just eat the cost because it's that cool. Because in the long run, I'm like, yeah, we made some money off that video, but I'm thinking once it's on the internet, it's there forever. It'd be so much cooler to be like, look at this cool intro than we made a couple $100 off this video.
And this is an example of you caring more about the artistic side of it.
Yeah, than the money we get out of it. Gotcha. So it's not my call at Cog. Now, if it was our own YouTube channel, I would have been like, F it, we're just going to keep the video. But yeah, we had to scrap it because of that. But me being the creator of that, I was like, I want the cool video to be there rather than the money we'll get out of it. But that's an example I have of that's kind of how my mindset works for that kind of stuff. But now, if it was like a huge company promoting like a video game trailer or a movie trailer, that's a different story. But for a dinky little YouTube video, that's kind of how I feel about that kind of stuff.
I got you.
So in regard to Sam's question, after all that, I would want to create something that like David Jaffe, for example. I'd want to create something that's totally unique, totally original. I don't necessarily have these ideas, but I want to be a part of something that was completely new, fresh, takes a huge risk, and put it out there and see how it does versus then hoping for the best. Now, the smart man would say, let's go the business route and make something that people are going to invest in heavily, make a ton of money, and then invest in something that's a little more creative, then take the risk. But if I had to choose, if I didn't have the option, I'd want to go the creative route. Gotcha. But, the smart man would create something that appeals to the masses, make a ton of money. Now we can invest in something a little more risky to see how it does. Yep. That's the smart thing to do. Mm-hmm. But if I had to choose between one, I'd go the artistic route.
Or you just continue to make lots of money, and make things the things that work.
Yeah. So, you think about some of the most influential movies of all time. Not critically, but financially didn't make a ton of money, but have stood the test of time because of how artistically impressive they are.
Sure.
And the impact they've had on industries as a whole. So that's the kind of impact I want to have. Now, I don't want to be the financial giant. I'd rather be the artistic inspiration that, had an impact on something creatively.
Okay.
That's probably why I go to
good answer.
Stupid art school. It's all about the art. It's funny I say that and it makes so much fun of going to SCAD. So Dexter has a question, but we're not going to answer it yet because we're reserving our answers to his question post Game Awards. We're going to do all this stuff post Game Awards. It just kind of flows out to the end of the year much better. But Dexter, I didn't want to leave you hanging, man, unless you know that we are going to reiterate your question in a couple weeks. But Dexter says, gentlemen, good day to you scholars of industry. Since we are approaching the end of the year, I would like to know your top 5 games of 2018. I know y'all went over the nominees for the Game Awards in the last podcast, but I'd like to hear your personal preferences, like always. And Dexter, as I said, we are going to answer that probably the week after Game Awards air, because we'll discuss the winners and whatnot next week and our reactions to any announcements made. Hopefully some cool ones. But that question in particular, our top 5 games of 2018, our game of the year, and some other stuff we'll talk about are in the coming weeks. And we'll do our classic, after that episode, we'll do our classic most anticipated games of 2019 and stuff that we've always done. So I'm about done, Jacob. My throat hurts. I can't breathe through my nose.
I need to urinate.
I think I've become
so bad.
Do you?
Yes.
You could have peed in my coffee cup here. I could have stuck it under the table.
Garrett,
could have urinated, and no one would have known, and I could have brought it back up and consumed it, and everyone would have thought it's just my coffee.
Well, I moan when I pee.
Do you?
Yeah.
Can you mimic it now? Is it more like a water buffalo moan? Or? That's how you sound when you pee?
Yeah. You never hear me in that?
I typically sound like this.
Much more hearty.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
A bit more grizzly bear-like there.
Yeah.
Every time you guys pee going forward, remember Jacob's moan. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I would have given it away.
Try that moan.
You think people would have thought you're peeing, though, if you were just moaning like that on the podcast?
Probably not.
Because, I mean, a lot of people don't watch the video version.
I'm making an annoying noise.
I've been making annoying noises the entire time with my nose, man. I'm so sorry. Hope you guys can forgive me. Hopefully I feel a bit better next week.
I hope you do for your sake.
Thank you. It's probably due to my lack of sleep. I get sick so often because I never sleep.
I think that might have something to do with it.
Am I an idiot? Perhaps.
Yeah.
But it is what it is for now, Jacob.
Okay.
Guess what I'm going to do after this?
Work.
No. I'm working the rest of the week, but tonight I'm going to meet my blood grandmother. You know, I told you my dad met his real dad recently.
Yeah.
Tonight, as of actually right now, he's meeting his real mother for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm going to meet her.
Cool.
So my sister and I are headed there after this podcast.
That's awesome, man. Hope it goes well.
Yeah, appreciate it. So it should be cool. But yeah, I think that's it for me, Jacob.
So that is it for me as well.
Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 180 of the It's Obvious podcast. Again, please forgive me for my annoying cold noises I'm making. I'm very ill, but it was a blast, Jacob. We had some fun news stories, some great discussions, awesome community questions. Can't thank you guys enough for that. Please keep them coming if you're willing. And we look forward to potentially playing games with you this week. I haven't played games with any of you in a long time because I'm typically on when other people are not on, but in the wee hours of the night. But if you guys are on when I'm on this week, maybe we can play something, whether it be Call of Duty or Hunt, if you play Hunt, or something of the sort. Battlefield, I have Battlefield on PC if you guys want to play. But in the meantime, I'll be dabbling in Spyro because I love it. But Jacob, I love you, man. This was a fun podcast. Yeah. It's an honor to be here as always.
Everyone continue to be good to each other.
Yes, please do so.
Play some good games.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever it is you celebrate this holiday season, we hope you have a great time with friends and family. And we look forward to potentially live streaming the Game Awards with you. If we end up being able to do that, we will announce it a couple days ahead of time, and we'll promote it a bit and look forward to hanging out with you guys there.
Yeah.
It'll be a good time. Yeah, again, you guys have a wonderful week. We'll talk to you again soon. It's an absolute pleasure, honor, privilege to do this. Love you to bits.
Goodbye.
See ya.